man, welcome back to another episode of Garage Talk, presented by Hooters. Joined with Dale Tanhardt, Garage Guy Chase, and today we have a very special guest, a guest that we have been waiting to talk to for quite some time. Everyone in the Garage fam knows him as Bill's Boy, as we call him sometimes, but it's Chase Elliott. Chase, thanks so much for being on the show, man. We appreciate your time, and it's been a kind of a fun off season for you, man. How's things been going?
Yeah, forever Bill's Boy, no doubt to start it. But yeah, my off season's been pretty good. I've done a lot of racing. Some of it's gone good, some of it has not gone good, but I've enjoyed it. You know, there really hasn't been much of an off season. I feel like I've been busier in the past 2 months than I was from summer to Phoenix, you know, last year. So just, and two, I think we kind of went through a time where events were kind of getting back rolling. I feel like that's kind of going back the other way now, but anyway, yeah, it's been super busy, but excited to get the season going. It's nice to get in a routine. Our season is really long, but it is, good to get in a flow. I feel like the wintertime, there's just no flow to it. You know, it might be one thing here, one thing there, busy week here and nothing the next. So I'm enjoying that off side of it, but ready to get back going and be here before you know it.
Before we get into the details of kind of what your off season has been like, we know you've been doing a lot of racing, like you said, but you got the Braves hat on. We got to talk about the great state of Georgia. From October to January, what's been going on with the Braves winning the World Series and then the Bulldogs coming up, winning the Natty. Dude, you got to be feeling pretty sweet right now. Tell us about how that feels with the two championships.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, kind of the Dogs and the Braves really are my two favorite teams. In general, I don't, you know, I follow other forms of sports, but those have kind of always been my two favorites and kind of what I've grown up being a fan of. So, you know, being a Georgia sports fan, I feel like it's a bit of a known joke, I guess, just how close we've been as a state to getting over the hump, and everybody talking about the curse and this, that, and the other. And as a Georgia sports fan, man, there's been some heartbreak. And I think, yeah, we've learned to not get our hopes up too much. So, you know, the Braves, you know, I'm a huge Braves fan. That one, I think, probably surprised everyone, probably more so than Georgia winning. I feel like Georgia's been close over the past number of years and have had a really solid recruiting program and have just been right there as one of those top 3 or 4 schools that just hadn't quite got over that last little bump. But the Braves, I think, blew everyone's mind, including my own, you know, especially with how that World Series started with Charlie Morton going down. You're already shorthanded. I'm like, man, there is just no way you're going to play the Astros tight in 7 games with just a couple of your, you know, favorited starting pitchers. I just felt like that was going to be a really hard thing to do, but they, man, they pushed through, got hot at the right time. I think that's probably more relevant in baseball than it is in any other sport, it seems like, from what I've watched over the last number of years. So it was nice to see them finally get things going. And in fairness, I thought the same thing about the Nationals when they won it, you know, a couple of years ago. I'm like, man, there's, you know, the Nationals are in the same division as the Braves. I watched them play a lot. I'm just like, man, there's just no way, you know, like how in the world did they win this thing? So I playoff baseball, in my opinion, is probably the pinnacle of playoff sports, and just the intensity and how exciting it is, and just the unknown of if the right group of guys believe in it and want to make it happen bad enough and get hot, it can go their way. So that was really cool and great to see them get it done. So on both fronts, I really hope that we don't have to wait as long again to, you know, to see it happen. So I really think they're both set up to be successful for, you know, for the next number of years. I think the Braves are in a good spot. Obviously Freddie is on the fence, as it seems like, as to what he's going to do, but I think Georgia's in a great position to be successful. Hopefully them getting over that hump of beating Alabama, which I think we all wondered when that day was ever going to come. I think mentally that's a big deal, I think, for everyone. So I hope that's something that can push them to, believe they can do it again, and rightfully so.
Yeah, man. You're talking about baseball being like pinnacle, man. I grew up playing baseball. I don't know if you did anything else other than racing or not, or if you played any baseball or not, but it's a very fun sport. And I've been at a point to where it's trying to like just gather up like where we are now, I guess, in the sports world. I mean, we do a lot of betting stuff and everything. So it's like, what are these sports that just like really dig the emotions? And I mean, it's a hard line to draw, but I will say that, like, for me, I feel like baseball and NASCAR probably are like the two big ones that where I'll get. But football, I mean, I'm a Saints fan, so it's just we've gotten so used to just this, great stuff happening for so long, and then this year comes along and we go down the gutter. So I think the Georgia Louisiana thing, especially with Falcons Saints, it teeters all the time, back and forth. So
yeah,
and I'm a Panthers fan, so I just realized we're covering all the shitty side of the
big NFC South guys.
Yeah. Hey, look, I don't have a lot of confidence in the Panthers, but I do think Sean Payton's a good coach. I feel like he's a guy who, carries a lot of intensity and has seen some success, and is a guy that can get things turned around over there and do it for a long time. Now Carolina, I'm not sure I would bet on that currently, but
it's gonna be tough for a little while.
Carolina's just kind of on the outside. Like when it comes to Saints and Falcons,
let's just not even talk about the Falcons currently.
Yeah,
still,
I like
to
talk about the Falcons.
Games,
so I have a fun
7 or
time.
8 games?
I have a fun time talking.
I bet you do.
It's always good, but yeah, dude. So I mean, it's you got a lot of things going on. You're talking about the off season. Yeah, it hasn't really been much of one for you, and so the championship stuff happened. So like, I had put a tweet out a while back, a couple of nights ago after they won it. I'm like, so this is probably means Chase Elliott championship. Georgia energy's in the air for 2022. And later in the show, definitely want to talk a little bit about the new car and kind of get some of your thoughts on that. But another hobby that I noticed that you had, and I don't know if you've had it for a long time, big game fishing, it looks like. I saw you did some stuff in Costa Rica.
Yeah, a little bit. Took a trip down there over the summer to do some sport fishing, which I had been, fishing in the ocean before, but it was all bottom fishing, which is not quite as fun as what we were doing in Costa Rica, fishing for, marlin and things like that, which was really neat. I'd never done anything like that. And kind of got into fly fishing a little bit last year. I've always had a lot of friends around that enjoyed it and said, man, you got to do this. It's a lot of fun. And I just never, ponied up the money to go buy all the stuff to go do it. So finally did, and really had a blast with that too. So, I've always enjoyed fishing, but probably have enjoyed the fly fishing side of things more than I have anything. It's a challenge, man. I don't know if you've ever been fly fishing before, but
no,
I
have not.
It is really tough. I encourage you to go because it's not easy. The lines are thin. You really have to work those fish to get them in, which I find fun. It's not like you hook them and you reel.
It's a challenge.
You see the fish, it's a challenge. I feel like the golf of fishing.
Yeah. It's I've got a couple of buddies that do that, so I know that's been something I've been wanting to get into. But what brought on the want for you to go get in these sprint cars and do nitro and everything, man? Like where did that stem from?
Yeah, I feel like it probably stemmed from, first and foremost, just being a fan of it. And I like a lot of people are fans of that type of racing, dirt racing. I started following more dirt racing probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. Watch a lot of the World of Outlaw races, World of Outlaw sprint car races, World of Outlaw, super late model races throughout the year because, I think it's really cool. I kind of relate that to why I love baseball so much is throughout the summer and my weekends are really busy. So I think it's really cool to have something to watch, during the week. And I think that's one thing that has drawn me to baseball over the years so much, is because they play about every night of the week. So it's nice to have something to look forward to on a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night or a Thursday night, when I'm not traveling or on the road or have other things to be focused on in the evening. So that probably, which is a really simple and boring answer, but that probably is why I started watching it more. And then, just became a big enough fan. I'm like, hey, I really like, these are some really, really talented drivers and teams and some really cool cars. And I think it's a really interesting and nice discipline to learn. I think there's a lot of things that do translate. I think that's why you see guys come from the dirt world and come into the asphalt world, in NASCAR or whatever the level may be, and have success, because those things that you learn driving those types of cars at a very young age are things that might take you longer to learn if you came up the asphalt way and driving asphalt cars and taking that route like I did. So it's just very different, and just everything about that world, the intensity of how quick the events are, which is something that probably doesn't sound like a big deal to you guys, but when I was coming up asphalt racing, asphalt racing is notorious for just wasting a ton of time at the racetrack. I mean, you'll sit around there for 4 hours before you practice.
We went to Snowball Derby.
Snowball Derby was like
that. I know how it goes.
The Snowball Derby. I mean, fantastic event, and I love it. And it's one of the events that I feel like offered me opportunity to be where I am right now. But man, what a drawn out week, and why, for what reason other than, for the tracks and the folks to make money at the end of the day. And I think there's a lot of greed in that. And unfortunately, the teams are their own worst enemy, because they go and rent the racetrack for, dude, you wouldn't believe how many guys go and rent that racetrack in weeks leading into the Snowball Derby, which is already hours upon hours of practice leading into the event on Sunday. I mean, there's guys down there testing for, weeks, maybe the week before, they make it a 2-week ordeal. And I'm just like, man, this race pays like 20 grand to win. You're gonna have a hell of a lot more than 20 grand in it than, you're doing it that way. So anyways, I probably have a bit of a downer view on that type of thing, but I just
on your soapbox a little bit. It's cool though.
It's a realist view, and we respect that, because we thought the same thing going to the Snowball for the first time. It was just very, very long. But I want to go back to the Chili Bowl. This is a big topic, and I'm sure you've heard way too much about it, but I want to know about the flip. Was that your first ever flip?
Air, man.
Was that the first ever flip in a sprint car? And if it wasn't the first, was it the craziest you've ever had?
It was my first. I've never actually, up until then, I had never, I had never flipped any race car. That was my first time upside down. I'd been off the ground, a couple times, and things get really quiet and weird until you hit something hard the next time. But yeah, it was my first time flipping anything, in an event, in a competitive event like that. So it was certainly not fun. I feel like it could have been a lot worse. I feel like I've hit things harder. Obviously, you're not going, super fast at the Chili Bowl, but those things, just kind of the way they, being open wheeled and the way they're shaped, they can kind of take some aggressive digs in the ground and abrupt stops. But I think I got pretty fortunate on mine. I was thinking it was going to be a little worse, I think, than what it was. But seats and helmets and all those things have come a long way too, which is nice. I will say, I once I hit that boy, I was like, yeah, this ain't going to be good. And you try to kind of brace for impact. And I opened my eyes there at one point, and I saw like the first row of the grandstands, and I'm like, oh shit, this is going to be bad. Yeah. So I think the fence kind of caught me and landed there in a fairly fortunate position. So yeah, fortunately all was good. But look, that stuff's going to happen in those cars. It happens a lot. at some point I was going to do it. I was hoping to go my whole career without getting upside down, but unfortunately that wasn't
impossible.
Very few people get away with it when they race a long time, but it's good to be able to laugh and smile about it after the matter.
That's it. You got your wins, man.
You got the wins. Take away from it, right? It's a dangerous sport, and there's a lot of guys who have been injured and had their lives changed because of it. So it's nothing to take lightly. So I don't want it to come off that way. I certainly understand the dangers of it and respect just how serious it can be.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, we're glad you're okay. We're glad everything's good there. We're getting back to going to NASCAR though. So some of that stuff, I know it's been fun, and we're getting back to this new Cup car. Gen 7's here. Dale and I were at the Daytona testing. We know that Junior was in Larson's car doing some stuff around the track. I don't know how much time you've actually had to put in those, but by the way, this show is brought to you by Hooters. Go right now, use promo code GarageGuys, HootersToGo.com, or download the Hooters app. You're going to save $10 off any order, $30 or more. And right there, like Dale said, you could have took a screenshot of that, and you can use that at a Hooters location. $10 for anything. $10 to go buy a Chase Elliott hat from the Chase Elliott store or from the Hooters.
Yeah, they have merch at Hooters. If you didn't know, they've got food and merch, so you can use
all the above.
Hey, fine print on that.
Valid at participating locations for delivery and carry out orders only.
That's it.
Wow, you guys have been doing this.
Way too much.
We're fine print connoisseurs, as we like to call ourselves sometimes. But Chase, we got some pretty cool stuff coming up this week, man. Might be doing a little bit of chilling towards the end of the week. It sounds to me like Hooters has a certain type of unveiling that is happening on the 27th.
Yeah, you got a little tease for us?
Yeah, there is this time of year. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar as you approach the season, typically get a sneak peek at what our look's going to be like for the upcoming year. So potentially, some peeks at what our ride's going to be looking like, potentially some other things in the works. So looking forward to hanging out with y'all. And Hooters has been a great partner, and I think it's cool to see them kind of diving into some different areas and helping to grow things too. So I think everybody will be pleasantly surprised that they've done a nice job of having not only good looking race cars, but making the most out of just a couple races. I mean, they're a partner that only has a couple events a year. And I feel like they always do a nice job of activating and including me on national advertisements and all kinds of stuff. So great partner of mine, and exciting stuff ahead.
Shout out to Hooters. We love them.
Looking forward to it, man.
So it'll be fun stuff. And like I said, we know we got the car. I know we're a little stretched with time, but before we let you go, we have to do our famous segment on Garage Talk, Big Bet Guys, and this segment's called Poll Picks. You're a big football guy?
I do enjoy football. Yep.
Shades are on. Dale's got the betting shades on.
/betting shades. They have to come on every time we do this segment. I did miss a segment with Brad, but that was a scheduling thing. So we got 3 football games for you. Divisional round weekend of the NFL, one of the most exciting times of the year, and we're getting closer to NASCAR as the NFL season winds down. But first game tomorrow. Well, by the time people see this, it will be today. So I can say tomorrow, Saturday, Bengals, Titans. The spread is 3.5. The over-under is 47.5. Titans money line is -180. Bengals money line is +155. What are you thinking with the Bengals Titans? Joey B versus Derrick Henry.
Bengals Titans. You said so. The Titans are favored by 3.
3.5.
3.5. Man, that's tough. In Tennessee, Derrick Henry's back.
He said he's going to play. Yeah, he's practicing.
Man, that's a tough one. What's the over under?
47.5 points.
47.5. Man, I really like the Titans. I really like their coach. First and foremost, I feel like if I was a player, I would want to play for him.
Abel's the man.
Yeah, I really like his vibe. So I want them to win. I think they cover. I think they cover in Tennessee tomorrow. I think the Bengals are set up for a nice run over the next 5 years, but I don't think they are at the level of the Titans just yet, especially during playoff season. So I would take the Titans to cover their 3.5 at home.
That's a pick. That's a pick.
Boom.
Joey B is the prodigy, but yeah, Derrick Henry is going to be really, really hard to stop. So
yeah,
not a
He's
bad
train,
pick.
but a human at the same time.
Yep.
Next one we got Rams Bucks. Okay, going to be a fun one on Sunday. All right,
Yeah.
Rams plus 2.5. The spread is minus 2.5. Bucks. You got over under set at 48.5, and the Rams are plus 125. The Bucks are minus 145 for the money line. What we thinking there?
Man, I'm as big of a TB12 fan as anybody. I think that guy is greatness in every level. What he's done, I think, is incredible. So don't take this the wrong way to all you Bucks fans, but I think they're hurt. I think they're injured. I think they're I think their road ends on Sunday. I think Stafford is hungry. He spent too many long sleepless nights in Detroit.
Yeah.
I think they're hot, and I think the Bucks are beat up. So I would take the Rams getting 2.5 points on the road. I think the Rams get it done.
Underdog
that,
pick,
man.
baby. We got
The
one locked
Rams,
in.
their roster is so talented. It would be a disappointment if they didn't at least go to the championship game. So
I think they're going to be tough. I mean, of all the teams left, I'd love to see the Bucks win. I think anything Brady can add to his legacy is just incredible at this point. The man's 45 years old?
yeah, 82 years old.
He's done some stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Just destroying people still. I think that's just amazing. And does it with a smile on his face. So I think that's awesome. But yeah, I think the Rams are stout.
Well, there you go. That's a pick. That's 2 picks right there. So we got 2 more games. We got the Niners and the Packers, but I think the more intriguing game here, the final game of the weekend, is Bills and Chiefs, because it's a rematch from playoffs last year. Going to be a close one, we think, but the Bills are a 2-point underdog, and the over-under is 54.5. Money line for the Chiefs is minus 125, Bills plus 105. So they're expecting a very competitive game out in Vegas. So what are you thinking there? Mahomes versus Allen?
Yeah, so I'll say this. You mentioned Green Bay. I think Green Bay has played their games a little too close. I know we're not talking about that one, but they would scare me to bet on them long term to a Super Bowl run or anything, just because I don't know, just something about them. I'm not sure that they're quite there where they need to be. But
Aaron Rodgers' scraggly hair.
I was going to say, if you want to pick that game, I can give you those lines since you're kind of feeling some way about it.
I have another feeling on the Chiefs Bills that I feel pretty strongly about. So anyways, I just want to touch on the Green Bay side. But I do think, and this is just my personal opinion, I think the Bills and the Chiefs are the best 2 teams left of everyone. I feel like if they were in different divisions, I think they would see each other in the Super Bowl, my personal opinion. And you said, I do think it's going to be a high scoring game. I feel like the Chiefs can just score anytime they want. I think the Chiefs are probably the better of the 2. I think the Bills play them super close. So I definitely wouldn't mess with the points over under side, because I think they're going to score a lot, but
2.5 is a lot. That's the highest total of the weekend.
Yeah, man. I feel like that's a tough one, but for some reason I've got this feeling about the Bills, man. I think they're hungry. I think they play them really close. So I'm gonna take the Bills.
To win or spread? The spread's 2.
I'd take the spread.
There you go. All right. That's both picks, baby, right there. That's 3 games. We're excited to watch them, man. Hope
We
you get 'em
are.
all
So
right.
yeah, like we said before, Red Dog is the only 3-0 guy so far. So it's your time. So we'll see, because I mean, we'd love to put Bill's boy on the throne up
Hey,
there for the 3-0. We would love
would
it.
would love to be there. Every time my buddies ask me for advice on these football games, I typically tell them the wrong direction. So a lot of times I'll tell them, hey, whatever I think, you should do the exact opposite. So I think we should note, if we go by what I tell my friends, if we absolutely reversed my picks, where if I go 0-3, then my friends would have done really good this weekend, because then they would have gone the exact opposite. So
We'll add the disclaimer.
yeah,
We're
I
gonna
think you
add
should
that
add
there.
it. I think you should add it. So if I was just completely, there should be some type of reward for missing all of them.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
haven't had anybody
No
go
one's
in
done that
three,
yet.
I don't think.
I think
Yeah.
the worst. I think Blaney was the worst at 1 and 2. I think that's been the worst one we've had.
Yeah, but I feel like he's just disconnected from sports. I don't know. I was at his house this week, and his old lady had Bravo on TV the whole time. So I don't know that he's watching any sports now.
Dude, he's got so much going
I
on
can
out
see
there,
that.
man. He just lives on this beautiful nature farm, man. I mean, his
Yeah.
spot is sick, dude.
He
So, yeah.
does. He's got a sweet pad. I typically he hasn't started charging me rent yet, but when I'm in Charlotte, I typically crash over there some. And like I said, I was there this week, but there was no sports on that TV, boy. He's
Homeboy watching Austin Powers, bro.
yeah, no, if it's not reality TV, boy, he's not watching currently.
Wow.
So
This
I
is
don't
good.
know.
This is good stuff. This is good stuff, because I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's good
yeah,
to know.
We're gonna have to hit him with that, man. But yeah, all right. So before we go, just go ahead
He's
and
gonna kill me.
pretend
for
to
that.
put on the. We're gonna put the gemstone shades on you. Go ahead, the uncut gems. Go ahead and just give us a little slide right there.
Here we go. Boom.
Boom. We love
Oh,
it.
that was actually good. I think that edit will come real clean.
Yeah,
That's
it's going to be a great
yeah.
one. But yeah, dude, Chase, thanks so much for tuning in with us, man. And we appreciate all you do for the sport, man. We're looking forward to seeing you run out there. And again, look forward to seeing you this week. Everybody, Garage Fam, thanks so much for tuning in. You know, follow me at Garage Guy Chase. Follow Dale at Dale Tanhardt. Chase, what is your handle exactly?
At Chase Elliott, I think, is my pretty standard way to find me. Yeah, it's not very exciting, but you know, it matches my personality. I'm pretty low key. So yeah, at Chase Elliott, most platforms. So, but I do appreciate y'all having me. It's been nice. Appreciate y'all's vibe, man. It's nice. I feel like you guys are very similar to, you know, just normal folks my age that are kind of into some of the same things. So easy conversation, and would love to join you again sometime.
It's the Garage Guys. 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 It's the Garage Guys.